Hi, fellow traders. I'm going to recap my trades from today. Uh, First trade I took was W. It was on a 5-minute opening range breakdown, and it was a little bit of an anticipation move because what happened, we had the first 5-minute candle here. We sold off a little bit. And the second candle sold off, but I never really got confirmation, so I didn't take it yet. I was waiting for confirmation on the 2-minute to tell me. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I was waiting for confirmation over here on the 2-minute to tell me, that it was time to get in. And we were printing this candle here. I didn't have any confirmation yet. So I waited and it retested this 9. And it pulled back and it sat here on support for a while. As the 9 was pulling in, what I decided was, I was watching it. I was watching level 2, and I was watching, how weak it is. So I just anticipated the move below this 28.83. So I got short right under 29 at 28.98. And we got a nice move down. I made my first cover at 28.51, which was at the $0.50 mark according to plan. My next cover was 27.68. I took 75 off there, and I had my profit stop had been moved down to back to 27.98, which would have locked in a point on the last 75 shares. Well, unfortunately, I didn't put in the hard stop like I've been demonstrating. I had it built, but I never clicked it, and sent it through. So all of a sudden, it jumped past it, and I just sat there. And I said, well, might as well let it test this and pull back. I anticipated it testing this and pulling back because the goal was that if I got stopped out here on the profit stop on a confirmed rejection of this 28, I think it was actually 28.85, but I'm not really concerned about the exact penny, but if it was rejecting this and the 9 and the VWAP, which you had all of this resistance up ahead. So there was no reason for me to think we could blast through this resistance based on how this traded. So my thought process was based on what I saw and what the chart was telling me. Well, we picked up some strength and we ended up pushing it. So I ended up stopping out at break even. And, the stock never really looked back. But that was solid 167.25. And this is exactly, how I manage my trades when I was in my big account and I was trading with larger size. This is the same way. And this is how you generate and build a confidence and build the patience you need to allow trades to work out. You take your first profit, you hit your first profit target, no matter what, you've made money. So automatically your stop's going to be at break even. Because you have to lock in the profit that you already took. You take your second profit, and automatically you move your stop, to a good profit stop. And that's what I was doing here. Just didn't execute the last part of the trade right, but I felt the solid trade anyway. So Momo was the next one that we took. I didn't take the opening range breakdown. You can see this was just kind of choppy. We had this one big sell-off candle, then we had an indecision, traded sideways, and I just kind of waited for it to settle. And this level here, this is actually the 50-day. You see right here, this is the 50-day moving average. And this is kind of what was holding it up. Even though we were a good 20 cents away from it, it just seems like this area was just kind of holding it. Then once we had a test of the 9 and I got a nice defined confirmation that we weren't going to push it, I felt confident getting in, risking on a close above the 9. So I got in here, and of course I put my hard stops in because I'm demonstrating how simple it is to get in, put your hard stops. And this is for those that are not able to stop out when they're supposed to. If you have the syndrome that I had on the first trade where you can't stop out for yourself, then you need to put in hard stops and stick to them. Because you see, I'm making a lot more money now than I was last month employing this strategy. I spent 30 days doing the strategy I traded last month and did make some money, but nowhere near the success rate that I'm having trading this style. And this is the way, I like to trade. And we're only trading with 300 shares. So, I got in here. My first target was the 50-day moving average, which was 2404. I think I got out at 2405. And we did get a pullback, and I was really beating myself not to take a quarter off here at 2350 when we got hung up here. But I didn't take it off. I waited, and then I got stopped out on my profit stop. So I did put my profit stop in, and that was a pretty solid trade, all the way around. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't take off here at 2350. And I always look at the $half marks as taking some off. And sometimes you get greedy, and sometimes you start thinking about money versus thinking about the skill of the trade. And that's what happened in this case. And nobody's immune to it. I mean, even the best traders in the world sometimes will make their decisions on money and greed, a little greed. And when that happens, we usually make the wrong decision. And in this case, I made the wrong decision not taking 75 shares off here and just having to take it all off at my profit stop. But once we got another defined rejection, just like I was, the same setup I was looking at on W, got the rejection at the 9, got short again, up under this 2404. Well, actually, yeah, 2387. So I didn't get as good of an entry as I wanted to. I wanted to get an entry closer to 2404, but I was still within my risk parameters. So I got in there, and my goal was to cover somewhere down here at 2350, where I should have covered before. So I ended up covering half there at 2349. And I did, I was smart. Covered some here just under this level at 2327 because we were struggling. And then had my profit stop and stopped out on my profit stop. So another solid trade. This one I think was perfectly managed. This one I just let a little bit slip away. But of course I couldn't let that go. I waited and waited for this to set up. And I was looking for this next leg down. And you can see this level, this is a daily level. This was significant support here. Then it came down over here and we were still holding on support. So I felt if we ever lost this support, if we ever lost this 2330 level, then, we would be in good shape. So, of course, I get short 2323 under this level. And, because we got the break, we got to confirm. I got in, I was waiting for it to test this so that I could get back in at a good, a good entry. And I did. And it started to work, but then it turned around on me and stopped me out. So stuck to my stop here. And then that's the moral of the story. You can make money. I gave a little bit of money back. I think I was right at 200, a little over $200 on this trade. But ended up 162 altogether. So I gave back a little bit of money. That's no big deal. And then JCI, this was just a board trade. I missed this reversal here by a couple of cents. And again, this is like my trend continuation trades that I like. Like to get it under the 9 and the 20. Once we lose a 20 late in the day, we normally get a pullback to VWAP because, VWAP is a magnet. So I did get it here, and I just kind of set it because I was doing other things. So I just kind of set it and put a stop in like 10 cents above. I only gave it 10 cents because of how tight this was. And, just let it ride. And I held it to 330, and it just did not lose. This 43.70s level just did not crack. It didn't crack here, and it pulled back, and it didn't crack here. And you can see it never did crack. So got out practically break even on this, 12 bucks. This is just a late day setup that I like. A stock that's reversed, held VWAP for a while, and then loses it. And loses, not held VWAP, hold the moving averages for a while, loses it, and then we start, to fade back to VWAP. I like VWAP is usually a magnet, when we get to these situations. But so far, I'm pretty happy with the day, especially since the day was election day. And I'm going to get out here and go vote and do my part. But I'm pretty happy, looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully we have some good moves and some good setups again. This morning, there were just so many stocks to choose from. Normally, I just don't have that many. And it seems like this week has been a week that I've gotten a lot of stocks on my scanner that I have to vet, before I can build my watch list. But as long as that continues to happen, we're going to find some good trades. And if you stick with these stocks all day, you can find good trades as well. Look at W. W was a nice bounce. This was like 3 points right here. This was really nice. So, I should have kept this on. Now I was just looking at so much and flipping back and forth. But normally I like to keep my watch list stocks on because I can trade them all day, just like Momo. It gave opportunities all day. This wasn't solid risk reward for me on, Momo. This wasn't really solid risk reward. I like trading under levels. I like using technical levels. And sometimes stocks are manipulated using those levels because they know institutional traders and everybody uses them. But, that's just the name of the game. So that is it for me today. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, bright and early. I'll be up and doing my watch list again. See what we can come up with. You see just how easy it is. And I think Dan Merkin had a webinar in chat today, from Trade Ideas. And I'm going to tell you, Trade Ideas, just one trade, a half a trade, paid for my subscription. So it's well worth the money. You can't think about, oh, this thing is $99 a month, or $85 a month. You have to look at it in terms of, if I find one stock, you know, and you pay for it, and that's just one day, one stock. So you have to look at these tools like this. I didn't look at it like that at first, and I suffered a long time. But when I realized that $99, that's what it started. When I started, it was 99. That $99 was the best investment I made in trading, hands down. So if you get a scanner, Trade Ideas is the way to go. All right, so I'm gonna leave for real this time. If not, I'll just keep talking. But everybody take care, have a great evening, a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.